Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of ATL Falcons UK. This week me and Cal are joined by Liam and Jonathan and very possibly another guest, but his connection's been a bit dodgy. As always, we're going to try and review the last game a little bit, but there's so much going wrong with this season. We think we'll just try and cover whatever we can. So I believe Cal's got a bit of a take to start us off.
Yeah, I think I've actually been thinking about this, but I think it's like me and Danny have only been fans for 2 years and we're like this. Every loss is like hurting us as much as any other fan who's been a fan from 2 years to 20 years. And I think what me and Danny have seen in the last 2 years, especially last year we didn't do well and all the losses. Since the Super Bowl, and obviously we know we had the good year after it, it's like a mentality thing. And I think the mentality thing is still in the whole of the organisation. And I think that is a very important thing that it needs removing. I don't care if that's all the coaches, like at the end of this season, I think all the coaches there now. I don't know who was there when, if anyone from the Super Bowl, but I think we just need a brand new restart. I think get rid of all the coaches. I think yesterday proved that Morris isn't going to. I don't think he was going to be the coach anyway, but I think he's just proved that it wasn't going to happen. Like what happened at the end of the game is obviously another shambles. But I think all the way through, like our team offensively is good enough for a top six without a doubt. If we didn't have Cotter, I think that would be a top six offence for the years. And I think
agree with that one.
With the mentality thing, it is stuck in the organisation. Whether that is moving on players we don't want to see, I think big changes need to be had, and I think hopefully there will be. But that's just my take on it. But even as a fan of 2 years, the passion's just sort of taking over too much. But anyone can go on from that.
No, 100% agree. I was going to say that is a mentality. It's just like in any sport. For example, I'll go back to my team, Sunderland. We had a rot in the club where we ended up getting back-to-back relegations because we had that mentality of just losing games constantly. Yeah. And we weren't changing the players because everyone's saying change the coaching staff, but it's not just the coaching staff. It's also are the players accepting this? Like, is it the players' mentality as well? So the players need to look at themselves as well. And that's the case for us as well. Like, do we need to move players on as well from that Super Bowl era and just start again, just a new start, just refreshing? I think
it's like we're breaking records for how to lose. It's like it's as bad as it sounds. We're like the laughing stock of the NFL. I know, no, I don't give a shit what other people think anyway, but we're literally finding a new way to lose every other week, and I think that's got to be partially a mentality thing. I just don't get how. I don't know what anyone else's take on it, but that's mine.
So what level do you get rid of players though? Because obviously Super Bowl era, you're looking at Mac, you're looking at Ryan, you're looking at Julio. Are you going that far? Are you taking the main men out of the team? Of course, Mac's on his last year, and he's going to be a year by year anyway. But you know what I mean about the other two.
Yeah, for me, we can't physically get rid of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, the main ones, we're not going to be able to do it from a cap situation. But
yeah,
I don't believe we're ever going to be successful with this current setup anymore. I think that the best players, like I mentioned, your Matts and your Julios, are still very good players. But for me, they're just past that level that we're going to need to be at to win big. And the ones that are behind them are just not good enough. So I think with this particular group, until we do a complete overhaul, I don't think it's going to be any success for a little while.
This is a point I made. This is a point I made earlier. We're not going to be successful for the next 3 or 4 years. The cap is just so minimal, and we've just got to farm out so many players just to try and stay under the cap, especially with a 25 mil cut that's going to come next year.
Yeah.
We're just going to be dragging in the bargain basement. We're going to be getting the jam on Browns again, and we're just going to be looking at absolute shite straight across the offensive line, all along the secondary. It's not getting any better. Trust me, it's not.
No, especially when you got players like Gurley on like a 5 mil contract, and he's a player that, looking at the season, you'd probably want to extend, and that's not even near a possibility. We
can't afford to extend him.
Not even close to a possibility.
The better year he has, the more people are going to be in for him, and the more money people are going to be willing to pay if they said that he's still got something left, which it looks like he does.
Absolutely.
We're just probably not going to be able to compete. Even for
but
a running back.
We need GM at the moment. who can trade him and at least get something for him. Because at the moment, Rich Mackay's like not going to be trading anyone. If we had a GM in, then surely just trade him on, get a third for him, fourth.
Yeah,
We've got an extra pick in the draft.
it's probably not a bad shout because he's on 7 touchdowns already. So, like you said, he's only making himself more valuable at the moment in time.
Well, he's on target for 1,100 yards, 16 touchdowns. You know, someone out there is going to want him. So we're going to have to catch him.
The only issue with that is I think teams know that they know our cap situation. They know he's only going to be he's out of contract to the end of this year. How much are they going to be willing to give, knowing that he's probably going to be up for grabs?
I think the only teams that would obviously take a punt on him now would be obviously anyone who's going to reach the playoffs or has a chance of the Super Bowl itself. I think if you fucking the Jets on North for 7, they don't give a shit about that because they don't want to be winning games. But also it's a waste to think like. But I don't know what other people's situations are with the cap, but I do get your point of moving people on because this season's obviously is dead and buried to me.
I think if a team lost if it got a bad injury that was really going to cost them, they might start willing to give up picks to go out this year. But other than that, I think majority of teams, unless something catastrophic happens, are just going to sit on it until the end of the year.
Yeah, without doubt.
And take him then.
I can't see many moves before the trade deadline for any team, really. There's not going to be major ones. I think you can see practice players, you can see backups, but I don't think you're going to see. Well, Cowboys, they're going to go out looking for a QB, aren't they? But where they're going to go.
There's rumours of Gilmore today, moving from the Pats. That's what I've seen a bit on.
Do you know who Dallas should go and get? Fitzpatrick. Fitz at the Cowboys, man.
Why not?
It could happen with the way I know 2 is always going to be going in, but then it's a bit like, well, if they come in for him, well, see you later.
It doesn't happen when he's performing that well, though. You'd think it would happen if he had a few bad weeks or something, and then you'd be like, right, time to phase him in. But he wasn't just gone. No.
It was a strange on that one. It was harsh. He obviously knew that he was never going to see out the season.
Yeah.
Always going to come in at some point, but I don't think he anticipated he was going to come in when he was on high.
I know. Really.
It happens.
Well, I mean, there's rumours that the Jets are shopping Quinn Williams for a second, so maybe that's something we can kick the tyres on. Whether there's going to be other teams looking at him as well.
Yeah.
But something needs to be done. The complete mindset of the club is just rotten to the core.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think we need to concentrate more on the defensive side of the books. I think offensively we're fine. I think it's the defense. So I reckon even in the draft we should be looking at like Micah Parsons, because I don't think we want to get the first pick. So I think that's going to the Jets. Yeah. We could probably get 3rd or 4th pick. So I think we need to start looking at the defensive side of the ball, in my opinion. I think
the defence has been a shambles all year, and it needs fixing. But last 2 games, the defence has really stood up. Apart from the last player, the last match, we were robbed of the touchdown when Terrell was flagged for the roughing the passer. The defence has really stood up the last couple of games, I think. It's changed still to be made in the secondary, but it's not as bad as what it has been in previous 4 or 5 games.
Is that with the level of opponent as well, I think?
Yeah. I think that's coming.
Vikings and obviously like the Lions, they're not good. As bad as we are, the Lions ain't a good team.
Yeah, but neither of Chicago. They're 5-1. They're a terrible team, and we should have beaten them. Carolina are no shakes. We should have beaten them.
It's crazy when you go on.
I was going to say I disagree. The Lions aren't a bad team. Neither are the Panthers. The Panthers are a well-coached team. They were unlucky against the Saints on Sunday because I watched the highlights and they played really well. And I actually think we'll get beat on Thursday. I think the Panthers will beat one on Thursday.
Yeah. I think we're going to get beat for the next 10 weeks.
And with the Detroit Lions, they're like us. Defensively, they're quite suspect. but offensively they're fine. They're a completely different team with Kenny Golladay, and there's been proven as well that Matt Stafford's not lost a game since he's come back from injury. They're a completely different team. It's like us with Julio Jones. I think we're a better team when Julio Jones is playing.
Yeah, definitely.
It opens up more weapons, like, because obviously Calvin Ridley doesn't get double teamed. It opens up so much more space for like Aiden Hurst to get involved.
Our problem was Dirk Custer reverting to type on Sunday. He seemed to be let off the leash a little bit against Minnesota. We ran riot against the Lions. We just reverted to type, run down the middle. No real urgency in his play calling. We should have won that game by a cricket score, really. We should have won by plenty. The Lions were there for the taking. We just dialed up the wrong plays time after time after time.
But if
go on,
Liam.
I don't think we have, personally, I don't think we have an identity at all. I don't think we have an approach to any games. The defense was built in a certain way by Quinn, which is we're kind of phasing out of that. It was all about speed and moving around the field, but that's we're slowly going away from that, and we're not even going to the other end where it's built on sheer power and aggression. We're just somewhere in the middle. The offense is we're just so one-dimensional, and we're just so predictable that a lot of our passing game is so easy to. We are getting somewhere with it because we've got quality. Like, you can scheme up anything, and Julio and Ridley are probably going to get there. But if we had the scheme and the players, and people were just completely second guessing where we were going to go every time, and they just had no idea, which is similar to our Super Bowl run. We were throwing to all sorts of people. There were people at the crowd picking up balls at some point. Running for touchdowns, we're throwing it everywhere. But now we're just going, we'll throw it to this, we'll throw it to the sideline, run get over the middle, sideline. It's like, even teams with bad defenses are going to pick up on this, and they're going to shut you down eventually. And it kind of runs out of ideas, doesn't it?
I agree, because I tell you what annoyed me on Sunday is the amount of times we tried to do a bootleg and then Matt Ryan just chucked the ball in the ground because the defense were already on him. Amount of times you did it was just like, so infuriating.
I feel like watching other teams as well, like the highlights wise, it's like they have a lot more completely different plays to us. Like, I know you always do a trick play, but everything seems so. It's like the same shit every week, even though when we pick up points, it's probably against a shitter defense. I think that's the problem. But it just seems the same stuff, like what Liam was saying. I think I wouldn't say there's a lot of different.
No, and we're throwing yards.
I think
teams have worked us out completely.
Yeah. I know hindsight's a beautiful thing, but I think after the Super Bowl, we should have given the job to Kyle Shanahan instead of Dan Quinn, because Kyle Shanahan, man, he's just proved that with anyone, he can run a fantastic offense. Look at the Niners. Absolutely ridiculous. Third string running back, or was it the fourth one, who got over 120 yards before he got injured? It's just ridiculous.
And they don't even have they don't have a good, they have an average quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got okay receivers. Obviously, they had Sanders, and Devo Samuel was a good player, but they haven't got like unbelievable receivers at this point. Obviously, Kittle, you could say, is technically a receiver. He's that good, but and you still get that creativity. You can get stuff. And if it's same at the Eagles with Wentz, I know he's throwing some bad stuff at the minute, and there's a few issues, but they're getting, I don't want to say bad players, it's a bit harsh, but they're getting unrecognised, unknown players open all the time. Yeah, the Fulgham seems to be open all the time, and nobody's ever heard of him. So it's how are players like that getting open into all this space, and we can't get Julio on a couple of yards.
This is the thing. When Shanahan came in, he brought the West Coast schemes that he brought in.
Yeah.
And he had 2 years. Everyone was on him first year, second year, obviously Super Bowl, job done. Sark has come in. He's tried to continue the West Coast scheme. When he's left, we've just completely disregarded it, gone back to Dirk Cutter, and just gone back to vanilla play calling again. So we've just completely disregarded 4 years of getting players open, getting them wide, trick plays and what have you, to just running the same thing over and over and over again. That's the problem we've got now.
I think this was obviously would never happen anyway, but it's like we've still got what 8, 9 games left, whatever it is. It's not going to happen. But if you got rid of Cotter now and like put someone else in charge, just to see what the difference would be, I'm sure Blank would be like, if you, I'm not saying we're going to win all like the remaining games, but just to see different calls. If that, I'd love to see that happen. Obviously, it's not going to happen because they're not going to get rid of another offensive coach. But if it did, it could prove it's not just like it could either prove it is Cotter or maybe it is Ryan or the extras. And I think there's nothing to lose now, is there? That's the thing. We're on 1-6.
No, it's just very, very difficult to implement. I was going to say it's very difficult to implement a new playbook or a new scheme.
Yeah.
Mid-season, I think you might see some improvement, but the players are just not going to be able to learn it. Obviously, we've still got the bye week, and you can make adjustments, but a scheme takes years sometimes to build up to something new, and we just have to get rid of everyone pretty much, bring somebody brand new in, accept that it's going to take a while to change our ethos, to change our approach, but just do it and commit to being good in a few years.
Yeah, there won't be no more changes now to the end of the season, like in my opinion.
No,
it would just be this now.
It was just wishful thinking on my part.
But my question,
Chris has got to try and it's got to be a bit more forceful as well. I mean, that 4th and 5, he should have been turning around and saying, no, we shouldn't be doing that. I know he said it afterwards. He wanted to be aggressive, but he should have turned around at that point and said, no, we're not playing that. 3 points, we'll take that. He should be turning around to Koch and say, stop trying to force feed passes to Luke Stocker in the end zone. 65% pass catch. I don't know. A sweep the whole thing. Rich Mackay's got to go as well. He just sort of sticks around like a bad smell year after year after year. They just need a complete new broom.
Yeah, there's a fine line between aggression and stupidity. Yes. And 4th and 5 at that point in the game was stupidity.
Oh, massive. 4th and 1, you can maybe
get it.
Understand. Just ridiculous.
See, my question though from the game on Sunday is who was marking TJ Hawkinson when he got the touchdown? Was it Deion Jones or was it Ulakan?
I think it was both of them. I think that was the coverage.
If you look at the reaction, I think it was supposed to be Deion Jones picking him up because when he got the touchdown, Ulakan went proper sick. He chucked his helmet on the ground. So I don't know if that was because he let his man go or if Deion Jones was supposed to get him or he just did because out of frustration because we just lost the game. Yeah. I'm not sure, but it was quite annoying the fact that 2 people around him, he still managed to get wide open.
Yeah, and Deion Jones is fast. Like he is one of the quickest middle linebackers in the league, and Hawkinson's got decent speed for a tight end, but he's still a tight end. So you should not be getting that much separation from a tight end to a really quick linebacker. Sorry,
I was going to say as well for me as well, like they should have been looking at this during like game highlights before the game. Like TJ Hawkinson is always like his go-to guy in the end zone, in the red zone. Mm-hmm. Sorry, he always hits Hawkinson. He's got like I think he's like 6 touchdowns or something now this season. So we know he's a threat. Yeah, it just baffles me why he's so wide.
I think he just extended the play that little bit, didn't he? Stafford got a little bit, a few extra seconds, and that was.
I can't say nothing bad about Matty Stafford because he's the ex-Georgia quarterback, so I like him.
He threw some brilliant balls.
The great call.
What's people's opinions on Fowler or like how he's done this year?
Don't hear Fowler.
This year.
Has he played?
I put it on earlier and it was only a photo. I weren't commenting on it. It was more someone sent it from our Instagram. Someone who runs our Instagram, he put it on. And it was just his attitude after it. I didn't really comment on his attitude. I just thought, when I put the post out, there was like, some guy was like, he's like his aggression was good yesterday. But but in 8 games, or 7 games, for me, he's clearly not done enough. And he's one of many for the money we're paying him, I think it's an absolute piss take, to be fair.
I've got his stats here. In 7 games, 6 starts, 15 combination tackles, 7 solos, and 3 tackles for loss with 5 quarterback hits. And we're paying £48 million for him, or $48 million for him.
Does he get 1 sack? Is it 1?
Yeah, I think
One sack, yeah.
And he
brought him
baited
in
us in week
sacks, didn't
1
we?
because
I mean,
he looked
the other day we did.
impressive week 1, which was annoying because I was like, oh my, that's what we've needed all last season. And then he's just gone,
Yeah. I mean, he ended up, I think, with 11 and a half. I think I've got it right. Last year for the Rams.
Yeah.
We brought him in on that basis that he was, he was finding his feet in the league. He's got to deliver, some decent side numbers, double figures at least.
Yeah.
And
It was last year, though, wasn't he? I mean, that left him wide open.
Yeah.
I hope he's great Jared and Aaron role this year, weren't they? But it's just clearly not happened.
No, but for me, in terms of, I know I obviously said Aaron Donald was creating the holes for Farwell and everything, which I do get. But in terms of rushing defensive tackles, Grady Jarrett, obviously he's not Aaron Donald, but he's one of the next best. So he's playing a similar role. He can rush the quarterback as good as most in that league. So surely we're still creating some channels. And I know Tack's been injured, but when you have Tack going off the other end, I don't understand why he's not getting more. He's not getting close to the quarterback consistently anyway. Just huffing and puffing every game.
Yeah.
I tell you who impressed me on Sunday, though, on the defensive side, Keanu O'Neill. I thought he was fantastic on Sunday.
Yeah. I think if he made the permanent move to linebacker, I think with his pace and his ferocity, he can make a real difference. Because free safety, it hasn't been good this year. I don't know whether he's coming back off the injuries or what. But playing the sort of like the hybrid linebacker safety role. I mean, the sack. I mean, he's like a trainer. Let's face it. I think if they can move him back, move him to linebacker, find someone else to go to the safety role. Eric Reed, he's out there waiting to be picked up. There may be secondary a little bit stronger as well.
Yeah, I think he struggles in pass coverage a little bit, Neil. I don't think he's the best in coverage, but like you say, going at the ball, he's aggressive, he hits hard, reads the game well. So yeah, he certainly got some scope. And I think it's another one on top of point there was I think Mikal Walker was good again. I think he's obviously he wasn't expected to be very good, but I think he's doing a very good job. And he's noticeable. I see him on the field, which I like. Whether every player might not be perfect, but I like it when you're seeing him a lot. And
he's an upgrade on the Bondre Campbell, definitely.
I think going to our secondary and next year, I think we were speaking on the chat, weren't we, yesterday or whenever it was? And I think we only have 2 safeties. I think Sheffield's still got a year left. Oliver's got 2.
2, I think. Yeah.
Obviously Neil will be gone, set if we ended up signing him.
Yeah, Casey, I think he could be gone.
But apart from that, obviously we're going to be signing. Hopefully, it's like, do you? What's it? It's like, who would you keep on Keanu? How much would you then pay him?
I would keep Keanu O'Neill. I would keep him.
He's always been talented. His only issue has been his injury record, which is pretty bad. But if he can complete this season without anything major, then you've definitely got to consider keeping him on. KZ has dropped off completely.
KZ's injured. He's out. He's gone. So
yeah, I mean, so he still. I don't know if it was last season or the season before where he got quite a few interceptions for us and he looked like a real deal. And then he started to waver at the end of that season. Then I don't know how many games he played this season. He did start the first few, didn't he?
I think he played 3, didn't he, before he'd done his Achilles?
Yeah, and then he didn't look the same player. But I mean, that's only 3 games. It's a bit harsh.
What happens if we go back to Oliver? Like, how many 7th round picks can we get?
Yeah, none.
I think he's still got 2 years left as well. So.
But you go back to Keanu, his injury record. You say about his injury record, but it's not niggly injuries that keep him out. It's two serious injuries that have kept him out. Other than that, he's always. His first season, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
If we can get him back to some sort level he was in that first season, I think we'll have a real player.
Yeah, he's had a lot of bad luck. I think he did the same injury twice on the opposite legs, didn't he, or something? He did do his Achilles on each
no, it's ACL, and then he did his Achilles.
Yeah.
See, that's the positive in my opinion as well. Like for a coach that's sitting there, like an assistant coach or an offensive coordinator, someone must be looking at Falcons thinking, you know what it is? I want that job because we've got pieces. We've got pieces. We've got the franchise quarterback. We've got Calvin Ridley. We've got Julio Jones. I know to me, Julio Jones is still one of the best wide receivers in the game. So he's got weapons there. We've got pieces on the defensive side. We just need to build on it more. And I think we're a better proposition than Houston. Because I know a lot of people are saying that Houston job's better. Is the best proposition out there at the moment for everyone. But I think we are. I think we've got some great pieces in there.
Yeah, it depends how. Yeah, I can see the point. It depends how far you're thinking into the future because Deshaun Watson's got many more years than Matt. That's where the way somebody might look at it.
Yeah.
But they've only got JJ Watt, really, haven't they? And I don't know. Yeah, I think we are. Like you say, Julio, Ridley, Hayden Hurst, who I think he's a massive upgrade on Cooper. I mean, Brian Hill's going to be gone. If Ito Smith can stay fit, what's Driolison going to do? We've got potential right across the board. We've got to try and take it on. So in a massive blow-up now, getting rid of Julio and getting rid of all the bigger players, no one's going to touch us. It's too big of a rebuilding job forward.
We need a really good draft class. I think we need to really nail it and get the right players in. Obviously now Dimitrov's gone. I don't think we're going to. Hopefully, whoever comes in is just straight up. Let's just take a really good player. None of this. I'd try and be fancy and pick the player that they're not expecting us to pick and picking styles over substance and things. Just pick a very good player or who looks a very good player.
Yeah. Liam, I've got a question. Liam, I've got a question for you then, mate. So if you were the GM, would you go for, say if we were third pick or fourth pick just here, would you go for the best player on the board or would you go for a player that's going to fit the new coach's strategy, his game plan, his type of... Because me personally, if we got third or fourth pick, like I said, I want to get Micah Parsons from Penn State, cornerback, or Kid Farley from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I'd be if we had a choice, the only person I could... Micah Parsons would be my first pick, unless Trevor Lawrence was on the board. I'm not sure, even though he's going to be sitting, I don't know if I could pass up on him. If he's going to be as good as he could be.
Yeah, I agree. No one's going to pass on Trevor Lawrence. Whoever passes on Trevor Lawrence is going to regret it.
Well, the Jets will have to because they'll be doing another year at Clemson, won't
they? And the Jets...
The Jets are just going to tank again.
It makes more sense for us to pick in than the Jets for me. I know it sounds silly that obviously Matt Ryan's a better quarterback than Darnold, but Darnold's just had nothing at all, has he? I mean, he's had nothing from him. There's no offensive line. He's had no receivers. He's had nothing. He's had a bad coaching. So you're essentially giving up on him and saying we're going with Trevor Lawrence, giving up Darnold for probably not very much, and then. And the fact he doesn't even want to play there is a problem. But if we take him, we're probably wasting a couple of years of his career potentially if we just run Matt 100%. But if he comes out at the other end, and I mean, obviously Mahomes sat for a year, didn't he? And it's only 1 year.
Aaron Rodgers sat for like 2 years or 3 years or something like that.
What can happen?
But this is going back to again what I said earlier. If we could get him, I'd bring Josh Rosen to sit behind Matt for a year or so. Behind two horrific offensive lines at Miami and Arizona. And he's certainly got the ability and he can learn from one of the best QBs around. So that's just my personal.
I can always see him as a bridge, though. There's a reason people are passing on him. And there's a reason people are putting him to the back of the pile. I don't know what it is, but if Miami don't want you, there's a problem.
Yeah, like I said, look at their offensive line last year. He was on the line into nothing there, same as he was at Arizona. I think you get a better offensive line in front of him. I think you see more out of him.
I think I certainly think we'll see an increase in production, but would we see a new QB1 for the Atlanta Falcons? I don't think so.
No.
Well, I've only got a couple of minutes before the Zoom meeting actually wraps up. So on to Thursday, who's actually staying up?
I will, because I'm off work on Friday, so I'm going to stay up.
I've got work Thursday and Friday, and I'm still bloody staying up.
I'm lucky enough I can watch it whilst at work, so I'll watch it next morning.
I wouldn't bother.
McCaffrey's going to be back, isn't he, really?
I know. But
I said we'll get beat anyway. I think we'll lose on Thursday.
Yeah, is McCaffrey back? Is it?
Yeah, he said maybe, didn't he?
I haven't said he's definitely going to be fit for Thursday, but I think we can bring him into that. So he'll play.
And part of me hopes he kind of is. I mean, I'm not sure. And obviously, he's a brilliant player, but is he going to be 100% fit? They're actually running the ball pretty well without him, or better actually at the minute in terms of pure running. Is it, he could hinder them a little bit, or he could just come back and explode and just ruin us for 250 yards for all-purpose yards. But who knows? Whoever we face at the end of the day, they're going to be a decent player. They're probably going to put up a good performance against us. But we just have to do our game. And if we get beat, we get beat. But we just have to be better ourselves. And if we get into a leading position, just man up and just stay strong. And I wouldn't even know what to say to them anymore. So just
need to get that losing mentality, don't we?
It is, I think, the whole, we're going to wrap it up in literally any second now, but it's a mentality thing through the whole of it. And I think at the end of the season, shitloads needs changing. I think everyone's got to agree.
We've got 1 minute before it cuts out, so score and nothing else. No commentary, just the score. Go on, Liam.
I think Panthers 30. I think they'll put up 31, something like that, and I think we might put up 27. I think it'll be close.
Right, Jonathan.
Like the last game, I'm going to go close game, 27-20.
Go on, Tricky.
It's going to be 32 to 23, 22, something like that.
The fact that we're all going
I know. I'll put up 30 for them and around 24, 6 points-ish.
Well, that was a painful show and a half, but we'll wrap it up here and hopefully we can come back with some positives next week. You never know, we might take the Panthers and eat our words, but I highly doubt it. So, thank you as always, lads, for coming on. It felt like a really low show, but we'll still be
Cheers, guys.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah,